Welcome back to the Forge, guys. As you may have noticed, this is not my normal forge, or any of the other forges that you've seen me working out of. I'm in Kansas at the moment, helping some good friends of mine at Badger Blades finish up all their sword orders from the wintertime, and getting the use of some equipment that I don't normally get to use, power hammers and such things like that. Anyways, what I'm working on is I am working on my Journeyman's test knife for the American Blade Society. A lot of people have commented on some of my work and assumed that I was a journeyman smith or a master smith already, which is very flattering, but I'm not. I've never bothered to go through any of the testing for all the years that I've been making blades. So recently I've decided that the next step on my path of being a professional bladesmith is to actually go through and get my proper certification. So I'm working on my journeyman's test, which after that I will be a journeyman smith in the ABS. And then I have 2 years or 3 years, I believe, I have to wait until I can go for my Master Smith stamp, which is the ultimate goal, is to be an ABS Master Bladesmith, American Blade Society Master Bladesmith. So, what I have done so far, and I didn't really show you this part because this is a destructible piece. It's not going to survive, so it really doesn't make much of a difference. This is a proof of concept, really. So I forged this blade here out of 5160 spring steel. It's got a 10-inch long blade, 2 inches wide, and 5-inch long handle. And the idea, what we have to do with this is chop through a 2x4 twice. Sorry about all the lens flares here. I'm like J.J. Abrams up in this piece. Anyway, you have to chop through 2x4 with it twice, then cut a 1-inch or larger diameter hanging rope, and then shave hair off your arm, and then you have to stick it in a vise and bend it 90 degrees without the blade breaking or the blade edge cracking. So I've never done this with 5160 before. So this is a test piece. I've already thermal cycled it 3 times. I've just hardened it, and then I'm going to temper it. What I'm going to do is I'm using this baking pan sitting here full of water, and I'm going to put the blade edge in it. Because 5160 is a deep hardening steel, which means if you harden part of it, you're going to heal the heart. If you harden part of it, you're going to harden the entire thing. And if you temper part of it, you're tempering the entire thing. So you can't just play a flame along one edge of it and soften that section of the steel and have the rest stay hard. The entire thing's going to get soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blade edge in the water and blue back it, which is using a torch to heat up the back end of the spine to temper it and make it much, much softer. The idea is to be able to have a very hard edge and a very soft back, much like a katana, so it's more likely to survive this test. Well, either way, it's going to be pretty much permanently bent after this, and if it does snap, it snaps. In which case, I'm just going to go back to what I would normally do and grab a piece of 1084, forge a new blade out of it, and go through the entire test again. So, once this blade cools down to room temperature, more or less, I'm going to clean it up, sand it down a little bit, so I have nice, clean, shiny steel to look at so I can see the colors that I'm working with. And I'm going to take the acetylene torch. Oh, this is so weird trying to point behind me. Right there. And heat up the back of the blade. And then, once that's done, I'm just going to chuck it in a vise and bend it. We'll see if it breaks or not. And here you can a little more clearly see the hard differential line between where the edge is still very, very hard and where the backside has been softened. Now we got a little bit soft right here on the edge, but that doesn't matter. This piece is, as I'd mentioned, pretty much a sacrificial piece that is going to get broken. As I mentioned, it got a little soft on this side here, but it doesn't matter. This isn't going to be used for cutting. This is going to be just a bending test piece. And here's the other side. You can see how defined that line is. So, looks like it worked pretty well. It's just one of the final piece. I'm going to have to pay a lot more attention to not overcooling that tip. But this is why the technique is called blue backing. As you can see, the back of the knife has a beautiful blue tinge to it, which actually, if you're curious, is indicative of a 500 degree to 550 degree temper. Is that blue right there. Of course, we got it a little bit warmer than that. So this blade is really proof of concept to see if I can differentially harden and soften a piece of 5160 to have a nice soft pliable back edge and still have a hard sharp cutting edge, because I've never tried this with 5160 before. So if it works, great. I'm going to forge another one out of 5160, do the same heat treatment process, and go do my Journeyman's test with that. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to fall back to an old standby, just grab a piece of 1084, which I know for a fact I can edge harden and blue back it and come out with the blade that I need. So this is really just to see if this is going to work type of thing. Yeah. I could already feel it starting. Grain structure is gorgeous.
Yeah, looks fine. Oh.
Oh, there's a crack there.
Yeah, I can see the hiccup right there.
So as you can see, this knife broke, shockingly enough. 5160 and water are not friends, and I had a bit of a suspicion that heating that knife up really hot in contact with water might produce a crack. Now, I've seen people do this successfully and come up with a decent blue backing and not have a problem. As you can see, on the other hand, I did not. So, being a little bit leery of the whole weirdness of 5160 and water to begin with, I'm just going to grab some 1084 and do this again. So, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video, where I'm going to, hopefully, succeed. Thanks, have a nice day.